Hi and welcome back. Okay, before I get stuck into the project today, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a clean up. I've got the old Milwaukee vacuum cleaner out to give all the little ruts and bits and pieces, little hidey holes where all the aluminium filings get caught into. I don't want any of those left in the aeroplane after it's built. So I'll get stuck into a bit of a clean up the workbench, and then I'll get into the building of the next part of the build. So I'll just turn the camera around and we'll go through what we're up to. So just starting here at the root end, I'll be removing the first three ribs, both aft and forward, so I can gain access to this bracket on here, or this angle on here, to do the nose and the root ribs, to get all it upsized, both forward and aft. So that will be another part of the build done. I will be finishing off around the bell crank here, so I'll reinstall the actual bell crank itself, so I can run through the main push rod and the aft push rod, get it all cut to size and all done, and then remove it for this part of the build. And then I will be where are they gone? Up here, I think they are. I've mentioned in the last video that I bought some more of these from Sonex to do the tubings for the landing lights and the navigation lights, so I'll be installing those. I've got 12 for each wing, so all the way through to here. That will be going through for the tubing, so I'll install all that tubing as well. So that's basically everything done inside the guts of the wing, ready for me to start sheeting. So hopefully I should get that done today, so let's get stuck into it and we'll come back with this shortly. Okay, just over here at the drawings, and we'll start at the rear spar. So here is my root rib. So on here, the bracket, the root rib attach angle is behind on here. So this goes to the face out, and the bracket is behind. But on this side, at the actual main spar, the angle, or the main root rib attach angle, is actually on this side. So one's on this side, so this tucks under and over, and then the same thing on this side. These are on the closest to these two brackets, or these two attach angles on the left wing are facing the actual root side, so the rib is behind, and on the rear spar end, it's in front. So let's go ahead and put those on now and see what it looks like. Just setting this root rib up here, and I'm not happy with the way that this little reinforcement angle is hitting hard against the spar, both top and bottom. So I might just take a little bit off that before I go too much further. And that's I can't move that rib. It's really bad. So I'm going to just loosen it a little bit and see how I go. Okay, got that in. I'm happy with all the clecos, and that's certainly a lot better in there with the gap. And down the bottom, just probably could take off a little bit more off that edge, which I'll probably do when I go to deburr, but that's certainly sitting in a lot better. I was somewhat forcing the clecos to go in, so it told me that it was just probably going aft a little bit, back towards the aft, back towards the rear spar. So there you go, that's ready for upsizing or drilling through with silvers first, and then just sort of enlarging the hole a little bit, and then copper clecos. That's ready to go. Let's set out the aileron. Okay, just looking at the bell crank assembly, I've got these the spacer blocks inside there, which is just on here. That's looking down on top. I'm not going to be worrying about how I orientate the nuts at this stage. I'll just be putting it together to hold it together and put it back in its assembly. So just quickly going through this. And I've got the bell crank pivot bushings to go in, which I've already got assembled over here. So let's just zoom the little camera in so we can see how it all goes together. Okay, the bell crank is now in. So, yep, all good. That's ready for its push rod set out. Last one to do is our set out for the little tab to go onto here for the pitot, sorry, not the pitot, the landing light and the nav light set out. So let's get one set out and just see what it looks like. Come back to you shortly. Okay, got that in. You may have noticed that this bottom one down here, I actually picked up the wrong size drill bit. Luckily it was over the silver size, but most definitely under the copper cleco size, so I thought I'd just re-drill all those out to copper clecos. Now, it's nothing structural, it's just to hold the conduits in place anyway, but it ain't going anywhere. So that's done. So basically all of my work that I want to achieve today is now pretty much set out. This is now ready to drill. Aileron bell crank is done, ready for the push rods, and the set outs for the conduits are all done for the nav lights and landing lights. So might have a little bit of a coffee break. It's getting a bit warm in here at the moment. I don't know how long I'll last, but see how I go. Come back with you shortly. Yeah, because these are a lot further into the spar, I'm going to be replacing it with my drill bit with my long 12-inch one to give it a bit more sort of flexibility to get that, otherwise I'll be sort of drilling in on a bit of an angle. So I'll just replace the long bit now, and I'll do these top two inners, and then that's all done on that side. Okay, I got the drawings out for the push rods, or push rod. I've already done the other one. So we've got a dimension of 2169.3 from the actual tube itself to the start of the rod end bearings. So hopefully you can see that, and a total distance of whatever it is, 2278. Anyway, I've dug up the bits and pieces. Here they are here. The tube is on the ground. There he is down there. Let's cut him away and see what it looks like. Okie dokie, I might wrap this one up now, so we'll quickly go over and see what I've achieved or what I haven't achieved. I've got the push rod in, just put the fitting on this end. I haven't put it on here yet, just sort of tried it for length. It's too late if I've made it wrong, but there it is. Now one thing is that I went to put, I think it's called an Aurora fitting in the end here, couldn't get it in, so whether I have to re-tap the end of it or throw it out and start again, I don't know, but I'll try re-tapping it first and see how I go. There's all the little brackets in there all the way through to the end. Now there's 12 of them in there. Sonex supplied 3 packs of 4 for me. I actually got 24 because I did it for the other wing as well. But here's the thing. Now I'd just love to know if anyone has had a similar situation as to this, but if you can just give me a comment if you have, and I'm sure everyone that does comment is going to be a yes more than once as well, that it's lost in this workshop somewhere. It's rolled off the bench. I've looked everywhere. I've searched over the back. I've searched right over there. I cannot find it anywhere. So I had to end up fabricating another one, which is, I think that was that one there I did. But it's one of those things that was just driving me crazy, and I can assure you now, I reckon I've put my hands in my pockets 400 times just in case it fell in there, and I still keep going back. You know the definition of crazy? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, that's me. I'm crazy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I will go and edit this now and start to get ready for the next phase of this build, which will probably be the sheets, top, bottom and leading edge. Talk with you all soon.